Hello, everybody, out there in YouTube land. Well, my friend JB, a classmate, got sage. So for $100, I got these sages, 25 each, that were hand-picked by him, a traditional herbalist of the Cree Nation, I forgot which nation up north, but he tells me it's near the Edmonton, it's near the traditional picking areas of Edmonton, Otaskawin, like those lakes, Wabamun area. So this is traditional indigenous. But the thing is, you have to traditionally you're supposed to trade, exchange favors, service, or tobacco from the elder, and also get in touch with an elder, so that a trusted elder, so they know that you're going to use this their medicines for a good good intentions that you. So we'll roll these up and we'll roll these up and use them for ourselves, or we'll give it to Nikukan if ever the Nikukan's really low. And emergency-wise, we just give it to them. But traditionally, because it's not kosher, it's not following the so-called kosher. In this context, kosher is reference to very strict observance to tradition, in Israeli dietary tradition. But in this case, the context is the verbalization is that. Verbalization context is that it's following strict adherence to prescribed codes. And the forms of kosher could be the word of wisdom in Mormonism, very strict observation of what you can and cannot eat, can and cannot do. So, let's see here. We will put this here. So we'll just lower this here, and then we're going to use these as my own personal stash. But like I said, it's inappropriate to use this with the Nikukans, unfortunately. But if push comes to shove and they need supplies, they need some supplies for the Nikukan, then maybe it can be used. But they told us not to. They told us not that they only use it because it's a traditional picking led by a traditional elder. This year we're going to Siksika, so Siksika Nation, to do the picking of sage and then sweetgrass. Sweetgrass can be found anywhere in Alberta, especially in on Nose Hill Park. Let it grow first. Let it grow. It should be picked during late summer after a good growing. There's lots of abundant rain. In fact, we're going to be entering a rainy phase right now. Entering a rainy phase right now. So it may look like weed, but it's not weed at all. It doesn't even smell like weed. Weed smells like cannabis. Usually smells like rotten skunks or rotten roadkill skunk. And down it with beer, as the AVTN would say. But this is not it. It's not at all. So, what you do is, these are called traditionally they're called rounds. That's what Noella prefers to call them. Prefers to call them rounds. That's a bit big, so. But these are for my own. You know what? They should be for my own. And then when it comes time to graduate, I just fry them up. And maybe keep JD in business, because he rationalizes in this day and age, because this is the modern world, that money is used as a medium of exchange, in lieu of buffaloes or hides or tobacco. But the whole point is that you try to keep as much tradition alive as possible. The Jewish people were allowed to kept most of their traditional teachings alive, as life as possible during the many multiple millennia that they were invaded and subjugated by other nations, the Romans, the Persians, the Greeks themselves, the Hittites, the Hittites, you know. So far we have three. So let's count. I want to count how much of these little dudes I created. So you try to keep the. I mean, it's interesting that they're able to revive the ancient Hebrew language, and then their scholars are looking for anything related to their culture, especially trying to find out the exact dye that the ancient priesthoods have used. The ancient priests have used. So let's just tilt the camera this way here, so we can show you my little smudge ball empire. So yeah, we're not going to be able to use this over the Nikukan. The last batch I made, the sample batch, the pilot episode batch, the pilot batch was created, was allowed, but they said they did because it said that not to bring it anymore because they don't know JD's intentions, and because he's trading with money and not traditionally the exchange, the mediums of traditional medium of exchange is not traditional. They don't know what his intentions are. He could be in a bad place mentally, emotionally, and because in this case we're going up. In the case of Daila, not Daila, but we're going to the Sixika elders. There's a Sixika elder, and in this case, it's the elder's intention that we're able to use this to service our education, to give us the morale boosting that we need to clear our emotional negativities. That being a 2, 4, 6, that being a student of any kind would be, especially when it's downtrodden by a systemic system of holding them back. That's designed to hold them back, Unfortunately, a revival of indigenous cultures and indigenous legalisms, laws and stuff, and professionalisms make it much more easier for the nation, facilitates the restoration of these communities and their growth. It's ironic. The irony is that you have to buy back your own land, but it's what the powers that be, the crown, state, or the presidency, the POTUS office, the White House state. Of course, these powers will become very in the next coming centuries and generations, perhaps several generations from now. That there'll be a huge shift if the demographics, the indigenous, will be populated again up to the point of 1 million people. So those million people are going to need their culture back as much as intact as possible. 2, 4, 6, 8. So the Chinese culture has had profound change. For example, Hong Kong. I'm going to go to the washroom. That's my intention, and I'm going to wash my hands also because this is pure stuff. So So it's the intention that the native culture is the native population is growing back exponentially. So this means that they're gonna need a increased workforce. Let's see if it's raining and gross out there. Yeah, it's pretty gray out there. So we're gonna turn up the turn on the light. Or open the window maybe. Yeah. Oh, what's gross up there? Sometimes you gotta turn the light on and include, sometimes you don't. There. Looks kind of gross out there, so I have my little Enviro light on, the halogen light bulb. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So our first row of 10. The little sage empire. It's a lot of sage we're going to roll today. There are a lot of things I'm going to have to do. I'm going to go. I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow at 9, so it's going to be a lot of coffee in the morning. A lot of coffee and service to NekoCon. I like to help out the NekoCon because, I mean, who doesn't like helping out indigenous people? Such a beautiful culture, such a beautiful expansion of the mind experience. So what you do with sage is you can eat it, you can tea it. It has multiple purposes. In this case, we're rolling them into incense bowls, and then the sage such as the sort of thinking of it as a temple. Like Asians have a similar system where you bathe your what the. I see a little creepy crawly walking. Well, you saw that on the camera, right? A little creepy crawly just went over there. Oh. I hope the goo bug enjoys the summertime here. They have very limited. They have very little. They have a very limited lifespan. And today we have, because of summertime, we have this. They have the fan out, so. But it's a rainy day today, so we don't really need the fan. We just need the fan on for a few days, or a few weeks of summer, late July, late June. You know what? If there's an emergency need, we have an emergency set of sage here. And judging by the increase of indigenous students over at Bow Valley, there's going to always be a need for sage. So. I mean, my intentions are pure. That I intend that. See, that's why I roll. My hands roll this. That's why a student by the name of had a similar kind of concern that because we're not indigenous, she is not worried. She is worried about our intention. But then she learned to, she learned that we volunteer a lot. Because, like ayahuasca, or like any other plants, these things are living. They're things that are either sentient. I'm not sure what goes through their mind. It's like, oh my god, there's a match coming to burn me. So, that's. I mean, if I were a sentient plant, I'd be like, holy crap, these stupid teenagers are smoking me. So, or smoking it if I were like a marijuana, like on Scary Movie 2, where Junior, where Junior's in the haunted house, and then the big joint came back alive and got mad at him and rolled him into a joint and started smoking his head, started smoking him. So, eventually, we will all evolve into some kind of star being, some kind of ash creature. And my job is to make sure, as a social worker, everybody stays alive who are feeling the stresses of life, stressors that hurt us and cause us adverse experiences. Any culture has them, especially a culture that's experiencing systemic beatdowns. I'm Chinese. Our people aren't laudable. Our people do a lot of mean shit to others. It's my intention that this will help keep me solid through my studies. 6, 7. And I keep students solid so that we may be empowered with the power to make changes to the system for the better. And everything is working. We've got women's rights now, sort of. The second wave feminism, where women are encouraged to become professionals, soldiers, engineers. If we could just equalize the payments there as salaries, then this will be good for the economy because you have more people spending, and therefore creating jobs, employment, and a use for these materials. I'm sure that when these little babies that I make, my little babies here, are going to be fried by students and myself, mostly by myself, because like I said, we want to make sure this is the emergency batch. Or the graduation, I'm gone for graduation batch. Because we don't know where we're going to end up, end up in the world. So we don't know if I'm going to be a student or a hanger-on at the Bow Valley. I know that I'm going to be able to go to the stage picking trip to Sixica this year, and therefore I'm going to be giving them my bundle of joy, my bundle of my baby bundles here of this wonderful tools. Hopefully, these plants realize that they are making the world a better place by helping us students, helping us correct students. There's 20 here so far. Correct students fulfill our dreams of being the great one of our family to restore everything. Every young person deserves that fantasy that they have, and this is how we have progress in the world. Every generation has that dream of being the one, and they work their balls off when they're younger, and then push for some change. Otherwise, we would still be without our grandparents. There will be no Calgary, but now the objective is to make Calgary accessible for everyone, especially Edmonton. Make Alberta accessible for most people. Veterans, especially the homeless. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm trying to get an education so that we can move forward. 6, 8, 10. I think in the next lifetime, I'm going to be one of them evil capitalist evil businessmen going, or evil business people going, I want to take over the world, I want to hurt people, yeah. I have to understand the madness and the lunacy that inspires such quote unquote professional skills, to be a professional dickhead hurting people. I have to understand, if I'm to understand these humans and understand the human experience, I'm going to have to be bad and hurt people. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it now, but I'm going to reincarnate. I want the fullness of humanity. I want to be an evil person. I want to be a good person, preferably good person. So I'm doing it now. Fuck up all the good karma that I've earned. That means in the future. The camera's picking up my little fuzzy buzz. So maybe this is just be for myself. I have a smudge kit here, but that's a lot of smudge to share on myself only. So this is 2 packages. 2 packages already makes yeah, let's do the way. So let me add a bit more. I'll be stingy. This is for students to Feel the good. Feel the heal. Feel the love. I'm putting a lot of my intentions are putting a lot of love into it. And of course the computer's getting covered in the Sage. No, actually the computer's actually pretty good. You can see it's actually pretty good. So feel the love tonight. Soon we'll create the ultimate of all machineries. That will all merge into one big giant machine bio dude. And colossal gods. Goddesses are deities. They're just called deities. That's just a gender neutral term. Gods, goddesses, deities. What if I'm a transsexual? What if I'm Gozer? On Ghostbusters, you know? The Hittite god. Oh, that's a small piece. Well, I could bring this to the Nikocon and just say I picked this myself, or just say shh. No, they're not gonna take it. They're gonna say, where did all these balls come from? And they're gonna remove it because they don't know whose intention is. So they want to make sure that they don't know whose intention it is. So, like I said, J. Blankety blank could have given this the wrong way. Yeah, I have to stick here at home. Boo worms. Or so I did that last time. I lent them my white sage. I lent them white sage, and then they removed it because they didn't know what a white sage was, and they didn't know his intentions were good. So later on today, we're going to finish off my wife's PowerPoint once and for all. Do a bit of a tidying up in this room. Every so often through a frenzy of my activities, it gets all the workstation gets all messy again, and doesn't really need a good swipe down. Well, there's a sage. There's a smudging room in the library, downtown library. I could bring this there. It's my hope that I can hold back the cynicism that goes with growing up, the cynicism, and for as long as possible. In my 40s, I still am quite purist. Oddly enough, I'm so very purist, so I'm doing this. Yeah, I can bring all students and Nikocon. I'm going to go in there, sneak in, just dump it in the basket, and pretend that everything is normal. This will help make supplies last. I mean, Nikocon supplies are very limited. Well, they told me not to. I don't know. Suppose I could bring sage to other indigenous things around the city that need supplies. That need I'll just put an APB saying I rolled some sage balls, some sage rounds. Anybody want any for free? Well, there's not really a place I can incense here. Well, maybe not true. My mom has a garden in the back. Starting to look really nice now, so we can start smudging them there. Start smudging the new plants, make sure they're going to be way here. They're going to be way, they're going to be growing way long before I'm gone. And the new owners of the house, keeps them, but they won't. Most likely they won't, because it's quite the headache. And they just grew there by themselves. They just grew them from shoots from a larger tree by themselves. So that larger tree is starting to form a little forest. Well, yeah. Or we can do a special trip and smudge, because we know the Nikocon won't take the stuff because we don't know where it's been. It's already 30. This is some good sage too. It's already made 30 balls for 30 students, but like I said, they don't know where it's been. So I know I can try and give this to Joanne or something, because I don't really have a place to smudge in here. Or I can smudge in the morning. Or perhaps I can slowly bring this to the Nikocon, like little pieces, like non-noticeable little pieces. And just slowly dump it back. I think that's, yeah. I love to give. I'm a very generous person. It makes me feel like I'm being useful to the world, and that I'm actually having a little part in everyone's recovery and playing my little role in the play. This huge play that's the universe. That's the great sagacious opera that is this Viking. That's this pagan paradise. Let's just smooth this up here. Give us another roll with this stuff here. There you go. There we go. Calendar's in the way here. So yeah, we're gonna sneak. Oh, we can bring this to the UFC. The UFC has slipped into research mode, so they don't really have an opening for new students, like newer students. They should have, in the spirit of diversity and inclusion. And diversity of inclusion. I'm going to try to write a story about knights and stuff, like child knights. Because everyone's writing stories about young teenage knights these days, right? And that's a child soldier, but essentially, a child knight, and they come back all. It actually shows you the horrors of war. That why the soldiers coming back all messed up and stuff. And the story will be about their recovery, their ability to try and reclaim their lives through a series of interpersonal healings, finding a vocational repurpose of life, or finding housing and dealing with the demons. And the society may have been victorious, or both societies, the victor and the loser, have both lost tremendously in Pyrrhically, and are struggling to recover. It's like so. Look at that beauty right there. So we will try to sneak this back into this. I don't have any place to burn to sage it. Until I get a place of my own, I'm going to try and get a yurt and spiritualize the yurt and I don't have that here though. But I can do this in the garden once the weather starts picking up. But like I said, it's going to be quite a lot of sage, and I'm gonna be sure that JD is gonna want to need some more. You know, earlier next, JD is gonna want to get some more of the stuff, and so here's $100 worth of burn ingredients, huh? Picked by. Then we ash this in the garden. Yeah, we should ash this in our own garden. Sage it up and ash it up, and hopefully the garden will continue being a wonderland of insectoids and avians and other wild life forms and certain wildlife, and a staple of life, a staple of life for these dwindling taxa, that is taxological. I'm going to assume that taxa is a reference to the population, or a word that's representing a taxology, representing a particular species, like say humans or something. That's a taxological reference, I think. Ooh, the sage is starting to get the sage. I tasted the sage. It tastes like cayenne. So I'm gonna give that to my dad. Hopefully he can. Saggy the balls, so saggy. Sagey. We're reached the 30-minute mark, so it's a lot of sage rolling. And no, I don't possess the skills to fast forward things. So to fast forward how this goes, you want to see me, and you have to see the real me, all me, authentic me, I guess. That's roll 4, so 40 of them. Just a 4. My hands are starting to get smudged and smudged. There we go. Smudged and smudge. There we go. Let's give another. Now these plants, their plant spheres hate touching electronic things, touching artificial things like metal tweezer. So we use the wood stick instead of using the metal tweezer, unless you want to use the metal tweezer to hold the match in place while you try to light the stuff. And well, we can put it. We can put it. We can burn it and put it in our garden. I lack the time though. I mean, I'm on the internet a lot, playing games and stuff, and give us another few centimeters. So I'm going to roll the whole lot of this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. That's sort of 10. When these things get incinerated, they convert back into carbon or diamonds, or that's what dust actually is little shards of glass-like material, silicon material. It's like glass. Like we're breathing in dust, we're breathing little shards of glass actually, sand, glass, and this just throws more sand into the mix. That is, this whole house's ecosystem. So I intend to live here for a few more years while I earn money to earn my own house, and then I'll be living in the Mackenzie area so I can take care of Mom when eventually, because she's getting older, so she needs someone to take care of her when she gets older and sees that she's all right. And we're going to be selling this house, however, so So we don't know if the new owners of the house are going to suck up all this filth and events. So but it's going to really make the house smell funny if I start incensing this. So you got incense outside in the garden, perhaps, on a nice sunny day, and in the morning time, do some sage burning. I don't have the proper ingredients for sage. I rather have the full Monty, the full salad of the full course of sage, sweetgrass, fungi. But you need to. I want to get authentic. So, like I said, this is not authentic. I bought this from JD. So JB or JD. I don't know which one it is. JD or JB. James Bull, I think it is. So JB. So I don't know if it's authentic or not because we didn't do this traditional way. We use the modernized cash way. So that's why the Nikukan won't take this. And for reference, I don't think I could donate this either to anyone else because it's non-traditional. And you want to try to, in the spirit of education and reconciliation, education being a institution of skill building and character building and citizenship building. We learn the skills of being a citizen. We learn the skills of being around each other. Besides us learning the professional skills. So the professionalism we learn to be beautiful. So this thing is going to have to be used here, and then dump the ashes into the garden. Then I get a new house of my own and start to build the garden up again. We're gonna take the more precious plants with us. We're gonna take the peonies. We're gonna take the tiger lilies. We're gonna take those weird greens, those weird purple stuff with us. And also, we're not gonna try and sell the house as is. You know, like I mean, because we're gonna take some stuff with us. I think, especially if I'm gonna take the bushes with me, I'm gonna take them out and replant them. And I think my mom is also planning to just restart the backyard for the next owner. So those bushes that I planted in are going to come with me to my new home. Maybe if I have a condo, I have to put them into the new dirt with the blessings of the owner. Just to let them know that I'm going to be taking it with me again because it's precious to me. I want to find a more permanent place. Because you don't know you don't know what the next owner is going to do to the place, right? Well, they say that Calf Road Bridge is haunted. Calf Road is a Siksikaanese elder and chief who said that he because we mistreated the indigenous, that road is going to be forever extremely dangerous to drive on during winter because it S's. If you look at the different map, it has a little kind of like a curvature. So when people drive on that in wintertime, the S is very foggy. It gets very slippery, and instead of driving straight, you're driving a weird, funny angle. So what we do is what indigenous medicine women do is healing women do, and other kinds of knowledge keepers and culturalists and do-gooders in their culture do, who are gifted with these skills of spiritual communications and whatnot. They try to wikiwawa. No, not wikiwawa. They try to offer this the smudgings and also tobaccos and whatnot. So I'd rather give this to my classmates, but so they can use it for their own personal journeys. But it's not a go. Hopefully this year, the NekoCon will get more sage from all of us instead of 4 of us. Because we do have enough. We do have enough, but we might not have enough for. So stuff has to dry off still, right? Sage has to dry off still, and so this one's have to be. So we have to roll them even smaller than this, even smaller than that, and really compress it. So it's still too big. Half of that. So you have to be small like this. See. See, comparing a Marauder to a Marine on StarCraft, Marauders. Remember, also we each produced a super big one for each row, and whichever student gets that will be super lucky. Yeah, let's give it to the students. We just have to secretly bring this into the NekoCon, and we don't know how to do. I don't know how to do that without arousing suspicion. Or else they might decide to just throw it away. And they're going, no, it's beautiful sage, I'll throw it away. Because they don't, like I said, they don't know where to get it from. But still. And try not to use a lighter. When you're doing this, try to keep everything as natural as possible. You know, if you want to move, you want to use the little poker, the fire poker. Use a stick, a wheel stick. Try to get that from an elder as well. Try to get that gifted to you by an elder. To make it as authentic as possible. Authenticity is very important. Yes, it means that the culture is still intact. The culture will eventually have to change eventually, but authenticity is still very important, as Chakotay would testify. The Chakotay character. Oh, this is 5. So some Star Trek fans would say they don't like the Chakotay character because he's a blatant plastic shaman, but the thing is, you have to realize that we're way into the future in that show, and they're trying to keep their traditions alive in that show. So they try to keep their traditions alive, and eventually, when humanity does enter the stars. Stardust and Nebula, the Plasma people, a ghost land. Plasma the Phantom race. When we all evolved from being this lobster shell of a person, bag of bones, we return to the Phantom stage where we're all plasma characters. All this is plasma. You know, when the sun eventually blows up, sucks into a black world or black hole, the gravity well again. The sun's pulling us into it, anyways. Nothing to worry about for the next thousands of years, millions of years. So hopefully, we humans can still last that long. We've lasted for roughly, in our current format, 1 million years. 60,000 of them have come out from the latest ice age. So 60,000 ice age. So, but we've been here for millions of years, especially indigenous people here in Canada. So here's to another 1 million years more. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. I'm manufacturing these by hand. That's why I'm manufacturing these. Period. So we somehow clear out the bile bio blockages preventing us from ascension as species. And being racist pricks to each other, being imperial pricks to each other is very, very dissensions. We want to ascend. We want to go up. The gods, they want us to go up with it. That's why they want us to give us wings. They want like wings. Angelic wings. They just want us to move. That's the sense I'm getting. And I myself am a demon. I enjoy being a demon. And demons are educated. I might not be an erudite because of my condition, my brains, but I'm more of a hands-on kind of a screwer. I wish I could give this to classmates, but I can't because it's not kosher. But I can burn them in my own garden, and I'm going to have perfect use for the lighters. Now this semester I might not be getting a student loan or a student financing. Because I'm not in part-time, I'm taking 3 classes, so therefore, because my time is almost up at Bow Valley College, expiry date is almost coming up, so I want to leave a good leeway. Besides, I believe that if I leave a good leeway, I can actually have a few classes off next semester, and I can actually use that for more funner pursuits like volunteering and putting my beliefs into practice or volunteering. The IGP. That's going to be really tricky though. The IGP. A lot of work there. I'm also doing the RCIA class. Hey, I wonder if I can sneak into the church and smudge it this summer. Hee 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 hee. Oh, my wife is gonna kill me though. She thinks this is witchcraft, or not witchcraft, but not. She's using the Christian Judeo system, the Abrahamic system, and she might not be quite keen about this, but there's a risk fragment of a little 14-year-old girl who was raped, called Saint Maria Goretti. She was in the early 1920s or something, or early 1900s, turn of the century, she was raped by her neighbor. She was sexually assaulted by her neighbor, a perverted teenager, and then she was murdered by him. But somehow her spirit, I believe the story goes that her spirit testified in court not to prosecute, and then she beseeched him to share heaven with him. She turns his life to God to return to heaven. That's the Catholicism I do like. One that's very humanistic. Space age and humorous. Logically humoristic, and that's the kind of thing I like. So, as a demon, I can appreciate that. It's the logical thing to do is to keep on growing and keep on building up your state by building yourself up, by building your family up, building a safer community. That's one that's less violent. That's how you build a country. That's how you build a kingdom. It's not the king and the queen. they can only be used as guiding examples, guiding examples of the majesty that is civilized, the wealth and majesty and prosperity and safety of a strong society. I guess that's how I volunteer a lot, is because I believe too much in Canada, and I believe too much in, and now I have that. I'm expanding that belief to incorporate Indigenous teachings to make sure that I'm double effective. And the more cultures you learn, the more cultures you adopt their cultures to make the ultimate culture a safe, we'll call it safe land, safe, happy land, where everyone's safe and happy and there's no SIDS. Then that's my intention going in my mind. So there's lots of bad in this world, but it's also a lot of good. I mean, volunteers just kick ass. The volunteers are the ones who actually construct this country, and it's my theory that, my hope that these acts of service, these, let's see, 2, 4, 6, we have 60 now, 60 rows or 60 rounds of sage can be used for the NekoCon. I'll put it during Christmas time when everyone's on their way out. Better yet, I'll mix this with the, every time we come in for making rolls, I'll just kind of mix this in when no one's looking. Because the intentions are good. Sage is sage, but I mean, the dilemma is that we want to respect their culture, but this is such wonderful. This is a lot of sage here. I mean, I hate to waste it all. So burn it on myself and burn it for myself, I guess. That's the thing too. Because of fire safety, most Catholic churches, newer ones anyways, in suburbia, aren't as the old ancient ones, the stone ones, the ones with the shrines and grottos and meditation nooks and crannies, meditation centers. But you can burn this, so I guess I can't. Because you can't really allow live fire in the, they only allow the candle, the big baptismal candle, which is melted and then reforged every year during Easter. So, yeah. Okie dokie, this one here. Good. Oh man, these beauties aren't going to be seen by the public. I hate doing things. I hate doing things privately. This is so damn low. I do like my privacy. I do like being insulated in my little workroom, but I like to be outside too. I want people to see my workroom, right? So. Eventually, I'm going to take over my dad's old office again and turn it into a complete entertainment fun room for myself and my writings and whatnot. Me and my friend Alex are eventually become authors and stuff, writers and stuff. All Alex needs is a good fan base. It's interactive fiction, you know. This is a subgenre of a subgenre on the internet who likes to go to play these things, go to these conventions for interactive fiction game. So yeah, I think maybe we should be able to give this to the NekoCon, and if not, then perhaps we should bring this over to the travel onto the Calf Road Bridge think the reason why they humored my pilot batch was because they figured I'm a good person and they wanted to. It's a thought that counts, right? But they don't want to keep this unsafe. They want to keep this. They want to keep this. They don't want to keep us not. They'll make sure this is the right stuff that they're the right regions that they're using for the right sacred artifacts they're using for their culture, right? So, I don't know what to do with this. It's just too dang much. Now we're at 70. Roll 70 here. We only have a roll 100. I don't know, man. Well, we can always ask Garrett Smith, and see what he'll think. What do you think we should do with this? But then he'll probably say he wants it authentic too, because to make it authentic, it's traded by, you get it from a good source, from a person you trust. You get this from sources from a person you trust, such as elder or indigenous elder or something, or someone who has connections to that. So. If anything, this smells like soap almost. This smells like a hand soap, the creamy hand soap, but it's starting to be all sneezy here. All the dust is going into my everywhere. It's going to my sinuses, causing me some sneezes. Well, this could be for myself then. Wake up in the morning, do my showers, do my brush teething, and then do my sage. Like I said, I live at home, so my mom doesn't know. She probably thinks this is weed, but this is not weed at all. She probably thinks this is going to be pot, but this is not pot at all. Okay. Hey, maybe I can give this to my dad. So my dad's recovering from cardio shock. Perhaps because he is out in Suk, BC now for the time being, for the summer, until he slowly recuperates, and he has to care for himself, because the next time is going to be a really, really big doozy. But it's good to see that I've got the live forever Asian genes in me, or I live a long time, so I can continue to do what I love doing, and just making things. Do these DIY videos, making things, talking to you people. Okay, so we're gonna keep respectfully kosher to the indigenous culture, not give this to him. Maybe I'll talk to the elders. Maybe I'll talk to the elders out there in Suk, BC, because eventually, he's gonna try and make the Luke mansion out there, and I'm gonna have to move up there as well, Suk, BC, and BC and Albertan. Try to find a way to bring a big giant indigenous conference and go indigenous and go quote unquote go native. That should be a bit bigger, but this is the size we usually use. This is the proper Nikukan size, because like I said, we want to make sure the sage lasts as much as possible, because this is only 200, and judging by the amount of fire of matches that we use up at Nikukan, I bring in during my time whenever I shopping for supplies, getting food, shopping for supplies. I usually get, I usually spend around this time of the year trying to pick up some much needed soaps and stuff and supplies and toothpaste, vegan toothpaste and stuff. And oh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. And this is like what? 2, 4, 6, 7, so 70. Too bad I can't use that for students. But like I said, that's cultural misappropriation. That's not good. It's not real. So Dad can use this for himself. Also, my girlfriend, my wife, told me that she'd rather have my dad take some coffee and take some black garlic for my birthday to give to him, and then I'm gonna give her a pendant, a blessed pendant. I'm gonna have a priest bless it here, and I'm gonna send it to her. I want to make it authentic though. And it's also asking me to send my sister-in-law her living allowance for being a student. I'd rather have her have fun and rather have her have some fun and do some volunteering, have fun in class, and have her work too hard. She can work part-time in this country too, so she's a student. She's on a special student visa thing. So this is row 80. Hope we have enough for the whole entire row of sage. Okay, so we're not gonna bring this to the Nikocon after all. We're just gonna bring it to Dad and let him clear the system out, clear his chakras out or whatever, and that'll hopefully facilitate a greater healing transition. I'm not a selfish person. I do things for others. I don't do things for myself. That's self-serving, and that's you. That's selfish, right? So, I know. Ayn Rand, Alberta. It's just not the attitude of an Albertan. They like to look on Ayn Rand's lethargic boob. This country, this province, and that's the important thing too, because all our fables, even pagan fables, even fables that are from villager kind of social-minded stories, indicate the importance of being diligent and hardworking. So the values of being a hard worker. So we all survive, but think of others too. That's another thing. But there's much value and much merit. There's much merit to So we don't even have enough for a complete roll of 8. So we're probably like 70. 84. We don't have enough for a full roll of 8. We're aiming at 84. Yeah. So 84. So like I said, this even 84 won't last long at the Nikocon. We're forever rolling hundreds of these things. We're forever rolling hundreds of these guys and these little dudes and forever being rolled into a. So once again, this is for my dad's tea. Should the guy Now I'm going to trust JB that this is from a safe place, even though the methods and the intentions or for making money were a bit skewered, not indigenously kosher. So that this can be given to my dad or something. So it's 84 so far. I'm going to just put this back to the ingredient pit here. I'm going to test the shell myself for morning tea again. And, it's going to taste really, really gross, but I'm going to also eat the little crumbs too, get some fiber going, feed my little baby. Feed my little baby. And also, we want to get this as much as possible into the box, this little tray, not on the ground. That's sacrilegious. But some eventually will fall to the side, so we kind of make sure it's funneled into the right. Make sure it's funneled into the right width of the box. So this cannot be brought to this because this is not real sage. It cannot be brought to the Nikocon at all. But I can use it for myself. So, or just 84 right there. But like I said, this would have gone very valuable at Nikocon because even with the 4 students giving their bundles all of it last time, that still wasn't enough, and that's probably more than 84, a small samplage of 84. So, see, small samplage of 84. Because the thing is, each time we bring a huge box of matches, it's like 250 matches that we get for $5 over at Canadian Tire. They're made in Chile. So those are Eagle matches, right? So that's part 1. So we're gonna do part 2 now. So let's hit part 2, and we're gonna show you part 2.